All right, guys, welcome back into another episode of To The Show Baseball Podcast presented by Beyond the Monster. I'm your host, Andrew Parker, and today's episode, I was joined by Trei Cruz of the Detroit Tigers. He's one of the newest members of the 40-man roster there after being added in November to protect him from the Rule 5 draft. So we did talk about, obviously being added to the 40-man roster, and also something very, very unique about him. He is a third generational player, as in his dad and grandpa played professional baseball. So I know you hear a lot about those father-son duos that make it to the bigs. Well, he's a third generation guy. So that is a very cool story. So we do touch on that. We also talk about a lot of food at the end. So if you're a foodie, and you get to the end, we apologize, I guess, for talking so much about it. But before I do shoot to the interview, whether you watch me on YouTube right now, listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever it is you do get your episodes, like and subscribe. It helps me a ton. If you can follow the pages on like Twitter and Instagram, it's at To The Show BB Pod. The YouTube page is the same, and I'm trying to grow that subscriber count. So anything helps me on there. But yeah, I'll quit yapping, and without further ado, let me shoot you on to the interview with Trei Cruz. All right, I am joined by Trei Cruz, one of the newest members of the Tigers 40-man roster as of this offseason. And I'm going to start right there. Trei, you have had a interesting offseason, to say the least. Obviously, that is a good phone call to probably receive. So how has that been since being added?
It's been great. First of all, thanks for having me on the show. Always happy to be here. And it was great. It was kind of a dream come true for me. I've been in the Tigers org for a little bit, 5 seasons, dealing with injuries, dealing with setbacks, and to be able to coming from getting surgery on my elbow last year in 2024 to then being able to have a good 2025 season, work my way to get to the 40-man roster was amazing, was emotional. And for me personally, like to, become potentially the sixth, I believe it's the sixth, third generation big league family is a big deal for me and big deal for my family. And so it's amazing that I can represent the Tigers, man. I love the organization. I love the people. Came across a lot of great coaches and great, honestly, teammates throughout my time there. So to be able to stay there, be with them, and grind with them, hopefully be in Detroit this year with them, is a dream come true, and it's pretty special.
I didn't want to. I didn't know if you had probably been asked a million times about the third generation thing, but it is very, very cool. Obviously, guys, I do feel like sometimes when you have like the holidays, the bees, all those father-son duos, like it's the only thing those guys get asked about all the time. And I don't know if those guys are like, it's cool, but like, ask me about something else. So I didn't want to like ask about it, but it is a very, very cool story, and something that I think should be talked about. And I'm glad you brought that up.
Of course.
Do you get asked about it quite a bit? I have to ask.
Yeah. No, I definitely get asked about it. I mean, usually, the couple interviews I've done this off season, it's usually one of the topics talking about it. But honestly, I don't mind talking about it because it is cool. It is special. Like I grew up in a baseball field. So to be able to say like, I got a chance to be a third generation, not many people have ever done. And to be on the same playing field as both my grandfather and my father is a big deal. And that means a lot to me. And so like talking about it it's easy. I love talking about, both of their careers are very unique, and, I'd love to have a career just as good, if not better than theirs. And they set the bar pretty high. And so, but they've helped me a lot, without them, I'm not here. So I'm happy to talk about them, happy to talk about the journey and what it means to kind of represent the Cruz name and hopefully have a third one this year.
I was a little relieved that I didn't feel as old in your instance, by the way, just because like I don't remember. I mean, I was pretty young when your dad hung up the cleats still. I mean, we're around the same age. And then obviously you see some of these guys, that have, like Vlad Guerrero Jr. And it's just like, I remember watching his dad, like, I played with him in MVP baseball back in the 2000s. So it's like, that makes me feel old, but in your case, I'm going to give you a pass because your dad doesn't make me feel as old because I I was kind of like that generation, like right after him that started watching.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate you for that one.
No, of course, man. He played in a good he played right in that kind of awesome era of baseball, kind of this, I guess, steroid era, you would say.
Save baseball.
Yeah, no, it absolutely did save baseball. And so, I mean, shit, I'll get at my dad every now and then and just be like, hey, all these guys were doing it. Yeah, maybe you missed out, but no, he always was like I wasn't going to do it. I'm not going to be that guy. He always played clean, and I respect him and appreciate him for that, and for him to be able to get 12 years in the big leagues, without doing anything is pretty great accomplishment,
Yeah, and that's nothing's wrong with playing the game the right way. So hats
Absolutely.
off to that. So something we I kind of talked about earlier, being added to the 40-man roster, and it was the day where you had to be added or you were going to be eligible to be picked in the Rule 5 draft. And I'm always curious too on especially a guy that was in your position, going through last season. Like, is that something that you think about, like in the middle of July? Like, are you thinking about I am eligible for Rule 5 this offseason. There's a chance I get picked. Like, is that even things that cross your mind through the year?
I mean, not really. Like, I don't think about so much about, this is a Rule 5 year. I need to get Rule 5 because I think that makes a player, put some pressure on themselves to perform. For me, it's more of like, I got to remember every single day that I'm not just playing for the Tigers. I'm here interviewing for every MLB team. They're all watching. Everybody's watching. And obviously, like, if I can stay with the Tigers and be a 40-man roster and all that, like, that was a thought. Like, hopefully I'd love to stay here and be here. I've been comfortable with everybody and the coaches. And I have a lot of respect for, Joey Cora and AJ Hinch up there, guys who were teammates of my dad's, actually. And so I obviously wanted to stay with the Tigers, but at the end of the day, it is a reminder though. Like, no matter where you're at, I started last year in Double-A, and it was, like, I don't know if the Tigers see me as a big league guy. I don't know, but I'm going to continue to play because even if they didn't, someone else is watching. There's other teams. So I think during the season, it's just a reminder of no matter what situation you're in within your organization, it's not just your organization watching. It's all 29 other teams. And so I'm glad the Tigers, saw me as a big league guy, saw me as an asset for this season. And I'm grateful that I'm going to have the opportunity to be able to play for them and hopefully help contend for a championship. But yeah, no, it is you kind of have to just remind yourself throughout the season, like, hey, this is you're interviewing for every team. Every day is an interview. So yeah.
So with now that you are a member of the 40-man roster as of November, has anything changed? Like, have you had like a different offseason? Have they been, sending you new things, like, or has it been pretty status quo for you?
It stayed pretty similar. I don't think there's not much I've really had to change as far as like, I made some mechanical tweaks on both sides of the plate, being a switch hitter, trying to find ways to just be that much cleaner. When you're facing big league pitching, obviously you face really good stuff and you're going to face dudes. And, for me, I think it's just focusing on how can I keep my same swing, but just simplify it a hair more. How can I prepare for these guys a little bit more, a little bit better? Every offseason, I'm always trying to add something to my training, whether it's, how I do my hitting, how I do my lifting, stuff like that. And so not much has really changed. The only stuff they've really told me about is just continuing to be ready for every position, that it's going to be a utility role for me. It's going to be, mixing second, short, third, center, left, right. So I think it was more just a reminder, hey, be ready to play any position, because there is you're not coming in to be like a second baseman or just a third baseman. Like, you're coming in to be the guy that plays a little bit of everywhere. At the end of the day, you hit, and you can be the guy that plays every day, but might even play a different position, every single day. But, that's what I signed up for. That's what I'm looking forward to do, is being the guy that, fills in every single hole that we need for that day. So, but not much has really changed on a surface level for sure.
Yeah, you brought up something interesting as well, and about just being versatile in the field, and something that always like sticks out to me is I had a guy on that came on the show just a couple weeks back, and Nick Sogard with the Red Sox, and he's kind of made his name and got to the big league level because he literally has played left, right, third, short, second, first, all just last year, and he's always talking about just like finding a way to just get in the lineup any way you can. I'll play right field, I'll play center field, I'll do whatever. With you being as versatile as you are and having the experience doing it, do you believe that is one of your I like to call them like a calling card? Like, is that like something that you pride yourself in the most? Like, what part of your game would you say that is?
Yeah, no, I definitely say I pride that the most. I mean, I think the greatest thing that Tigers ever did was 2 years ago ask me about, hey, this isn't because you can't play short, but it's more because we see you as a good athlete. Would you have any interest in potentially playing center field? And I said, yeah. Obviously, I think especially with AJ Hinch and how he likes to operate, he's a very plug and play type guy. Like, nobody's ever on the bench. It's everyone's got a chance to play every single game because he's big on matchups and moving guys around. He loves versatile players, and so I thought that was an advantage for me to be able to go play center field and then eventually turn that into mixing some third base, mixing some second base, mixing some left, some right, but stay kind of in that central position. And I've really prided myself on being able to play every position possible. Like if I need to go play first, I will. Hopefully that I don't do that for a while, but I think that's what is part of my, game that makes me valuable is the switch hitting part and be able to play pretty much every single position other than catcher. And so, I think training like that has been fun. I mean, for me, like it took me shagging out in center field for them to actually be like, oh, we should try him in center field during season because we were kind of low on center fielders at the time. And so I think it's for sure helped my game. I think it's for sure made me more valuable. And it's made it honestly more fun showing up to the ballpark every day, not knowing where I'm going to play. Just kind of, hey, let's see where I'm at today. And, I went through like a 2-week stretch where every single game, this was during last season, every single game I played a different position for 2 weeks.
Wow.
And honestly, it was super fun. I loved it. And so I've embraced it. I enjoy it. Obviously I want to be an everyday guy and I want to work towards that. And whether that's at one position or I'm going to be an everyday guy playing a different position every other day, I don't care. I'm happy to do either one. I want to do whatever it takes to get in the lineup. So I think that's where the versatility for sure comes into play.
I want to see you put on a first base glove this year. I think that would be a nice challenge.
If I put on a first base glove, something probably went wrong. But hey,
true.
You never know. You never know. But I'll be ready if the time comes. But that's one position I'm not practicing right now. I'm hopefully don't need to do that for hopefully a lot of years down the road.
Yes. It was a joke, but if you had that thing on,
hey, you never know. You never know.
Long.
Hey, you never know. Crazier things have happened. So.
Oh yeah, no, I get it. But I was gonna say you're also like the fact that you play every single position. You're a switch hitter. You do know that you're like. I don't know if you play video games and you play MLB The Show, but you are like a guy who plays MLB The Show, like franchise mode. You are like their best friend because it's like you're like the perfect guy for on the bench in the major leagues to be like, hey, I can plug this guy in at third to spell this guy. The next day it's left field. You're pretty much playing every day in a franchise mode. So I don't know. I just had to say that because
I've never played the franchise mode, but you're not the first person that has told me that, and so I love it though. I mean, hey, that's what I want to be in real life is be able to be the perfect guy that they're like, hey, you can just plug and play anywhere, and he's not really a matchup problem because he hits both sides. So I appreciate you saying that though. That's good for me to know.
That's actually cool. I wasn't the first one to say it, but all right. So I did have another question. So obviously we talked a lot about the versatility on defense, and you did bring up being a switch hitter. And maybe this is for Tigers fans that maybe, aren't as familiar with you, maybe they haven't seen you play before, maybe they didn't watch as much Erie games or whatever, but how would you describe yourself as a hitter? I did see, I feel like I might say this, you might have some sneaky power, I want to say. You did hit 14 in 2023, but how would you kind of describe yourself as a hitter?
Yeah, I would say I am definitely a doubles first type of hitter. I am a lot of people would say I am sneaky power. I'll tell people, yeah, I got more power than you all the time. Now, is that true? I probably don't have the most power in the organization, but I'm trying to be the most powerful switch hitter for sure. But for me though, I think the biggest thing I do as a hitter, describe myself, is I'm not a big chase guy. I don't chase. I'm going to make you have to throw perfect pitches. I walk a lot. I think that's where a lot of my success has come, is by walking a lot, dominating 3-ball counts, dominating 3-2 counts and 3-1 counts. And, I jump on the fastball. I love, especially being, when I was in Erie for 2.5 years, I was a leadoff batter just about every game. And, I love jumping on the first pitch. And so I don't want, there's no pitches off against me, because if you're throwing an 0-0, just let me get a strike. That is my favorite type of guy to face. And so being a pain in the butt out, really, I think is the biggest way to describe myself. Is if you're going to get me out, you're going to have to make pitches. You're going to have to throw perfect spots. And if, hey, you make 3 perfect pitches, tip your cap. But odds are you're probably not. And so I'm banking on waiting on certain spots to the plate and, being unpredictable. Some days I'm all over the inside corner and some days I'm all over the outside corner, and a pitcher doesn't know which one it is. And so being able to just be a pain in the butt out, controlling the strike zone, and taking what they give me.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that you were a really big fan of the ABS system in AAA this past year.
Oh, yeah.
Is that accurate?
For sure. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. ABS it was a game changer, especially for a guy like me that already walked a lot without it. And so with it, I was like, oh, this is going to be, I was afraid at first to use it because, when you first get to AAA, I was a younger guy on that team. We had a lot of older guys, older veteran guys. You don't want to be that guy that takes the challenges away,
Yeah.
because you challenge, you get it wrong. Everyone's looking at you like, dude, come on, dude, you can't be taking it, whatever. Because you only get 2, and that's on both sides of the ball, both pitching and hitting. And so, I was definitely afraid for a while. And the first one I did challenge was wrong. It was actually against Rich Hill. And it was a fastball that clipped to the inside up and in corner. It was barely a strike. And I was like, you got to be kidding me that I botched the first one, because I was just I don't want to be that guy. Because you see some guys that'll challenge it and it'll be like a pitch right down the middle. And you're like, what the heck are we doing? But yeah, no, the ABS system though, I loved it. Once I got confidence with it and realized how it works, it was awesome. I enjoyed it. It kind of takes the whole arguing with the umpires out of the game, because, if you don't like a call and you tell the umpire, they'll be like, all right, challenge it. If you don't like it, challenge it. And so you really got to know your strike zone and know what the ABS strike zone is, because it is a little different than what your traditional strike zone would be. The corners are right, but the height kind of varies, and so I think once you get a good sense of it, for a guy like me, I think it's a massive advantage, because I'm really going to make a pitcher have to really make a pitch, because the umpire can't bail them out every time. Those guys the pitchers get enough calls. Every time they start complaining, I'm like, you guys get enough calls. I don't want to hear it. Hitting's hard enough. So I love it though. It's fun.
I talked to too many pitchers on here that would very much disagree with you, but I just remember. I remember hanging out. It was probably 2 years back, maybe 3 years back. I forgot the year that they did the half and half in AAA, where they had half the games were the automated, so it was just completely automated. And then half of them were challenged. I think that was 2 years ago, maybe. But
I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, I got a front row seat though to Chase Mydroth, who's with the White Sox this year, And
Yeah.
that guy he's very similar to yourself in terms of drawing a ton of walks. He's very, very patient. He knows the strike zone. That's why he got to the big. I mean, that's one of his calling cards, why he got to the big leagues. And I remember him describing it. And he was like, dude, this thing is incredible because I know the strike zone better than the umpire did anyway. So like I would know like if it's going to be anywhere close. So I'm always I know it's coming to the big leagues, obviously the challenge system. So it's not going away anytime soon.
No, it's not. I'm curious to see how it is in the big league, especially with some of the veteran guys, that have been around for a while. I can't wait, and I think some of these pitchers are going to lose their mind too. So especially the veteran pitchers, you got a guy like Max Scherzer or Justin Verlander getting, a strike 3 call that gets, overturned. They're going to lose it. And so, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch. And so I'm excited. I think it's good for baseball. I think it's a good, at least trial system. Like it was successful in AAA, and there was no hiccups, I thought, with it. So I think it'd be good for baseball.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I mean, every other sport's got some sort of challenge system, so it was only a matter of time. All right, absolutely. So I'm gonna shoot here to a little bit of stuff off the field, which I should have done this at the very beginning, but I should have congratulated you, by the way. I appreciate it. You had some pretty big news in late 2025. You were an engaged man.
Oh yeah. No, I was absolutely. Shout out my fiance, Maya Horror, who is soon to be Maya Cruz. It was very exciting. It's something I've been waiting for a while. I met her in college at Rice. She played soccer, and for me, it was honestly probably about time, as she would say. But no, I was really happy, took her on a nice little vacation, surprised her, didn't tell her about it at all. Got a great photographer to take some photos of us and everything. She's a big animal girl. So we did it at a big kind of animal farm resort here in Texas. And no, it was great. I'm very happy, excited. We're, in the early stages of wedding planning right now. So it's fun. It's also a little stressful, but it's a fun stressful. But I'm excited. I can't wait. She's everything. She's my support system. I wouldn't be where I'm at today without her. So I'm happy. And obviously she said yes. So things are going well.
Okay. Yeah, that is obviously she said yes. That's a very positive thing. That's half the battle right there.
It sure is. It sure is.
Did you, I know it's very, very early for you, and I didn't think, and I got married to my wife probably like a little over a year and a half ago. And I didn't think anything really changed after like I proposed in wedding planning. Obviously wedding planning is very stressful, but nothing really changed until like, you officially like have you have the ring on, because you just didn't have it the whole time. But that is the weirdest part, I think.
It is. I'm gonna have to get used to whenever I do get a ring. It hasn't, like, things have changed in the sense of like I gotta remind myself to say my fiance, not my girlfriend.
Yes.
So sometimes I'll catch myself with that, and like the idea of like wow, it's coming here. Like, something you think about when you're younger, and now that it's actually here, it's like wow, and figuring out who to invite and all that stuff, and how big of a wedding, all that. It is tough. We both have big families, so. And all that, but no, it's been great though, and I'm excited to see how everything with the wedding and all that stuff plays out the way it is. But it'll be fun. It hasn't. I don't think it's truly hit me yet. I think like in your sense, it's not gonna hit me till I have a ring on my finger, and we both are on that altar. But I get excited thinking about it. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I don't think it hit me until we were lining up to walk down the aisle. That's when it hit me, to be honest.
Yeah,
so
I'm probably going to be the same boat for sure.
I blacked out. I'm going to be honest. It was a lot. It was a lot of people looking at you. It's tough.
I know, and it's all people too, which is even crazier. But you're still like, oh my gosh,
all those people are there for me, and it's like, oh man, I can't let people down right now. But
you got to keep your composure, keep it straight.
It'll be here before you know it. But
I know,
big time.
I know.
Big time congrats.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
So do you your off season, do you spend it down in Texas?
Yes, I live in Houston, Texas. We moved here. I grew up in Miami. I moved here my junior high school. My dad took a job with the MLB PA, and he was also from Houston. And so my grandfather already lived here, and a lot of my dad's side lives here. So, it was an easy kind of transition for us, and moved here, and I loved it. Once I got here, I actually committed to Rice right as I was moving here to Houston. And so I was like, all right, well, so much for getting away from my parents in college. Ended up when my parents, obviously, they get a house in West University, which is right next to Rice Village. So they're like 10 minutes away. And so, but honestly, it was great though. I'm happy they were nearby, because it's, when you're in a college dorm, you got a roommate, it's so good to have a little outlet,
Oh yeah.
And so it was nice to get, home cooked meal from mom. Shout out mom. On the weekends, and get away, and also have my dad watch the games, and be able to work with me on the side too. Because he's been my hitting coach since day one. So to be able to have him kind of take a look, see myself, work with him in between games and stuff like that was awesome. And I've been here ever since. I love it, and so I enjoy the people. Made a good network here, good training system here, and so I love it a lot.
So I'm gonna ask a question regarding you off the field. I always like to ask this question because I'm very curious. Because a lot of times, like if people like, let's just say a fan wants to go like try to maybe look at your Instagram page, your Twitter page, or whatever. It's like close to baseball. Let's be honest. Like might be proposal photo, like something like that. But if you're not like training, or you're not at the complex, working out, anything, what do you do in your free time?
Well, I am a big golfer. Love golfing. I played golf 2 years in high school from my high school team. And then I would have played all 4 years, but when I moved to Houston, it's the same season as baseball. And so that was a big bummer moving to Houston, was not being able to play in the golf team because I loved it. Yeah, I loved it a lot. And like people always say, like, golf ruins the baseball swing and all that. But honestly, I really think my baseball ruins my golf swing, if anything.
Really?
Because I start swinging like a baseball player, and then all of a sudden, I'm pushing it right, and I'm like, gosh, if I can just get the baseball swing out of the golf swing, I'm in a great spot. But yeah, I'm playing golf. I'm a big movie guy. I love watching movies. I would say a casual gamer, not a big gamer, but you put on some Mario Kart with me and a couple other guys, I'll be playing all night with them. And so, I enjoy little things. I'm a cook. I love cooking a lot. Cook, golf, watch movies, play some games. I love darts, big darts guy. And stuff like that. And love playing cards. I love playing poker. I'll play poker all night with some people because my poker face, it throws people off. Because I'm so bad at poker face that people don't know if it's like, this is real, or does he actually have something on there. I'm a kind of an unpredictable guy. Like I'll go all in on a pair, and
I'll never know.
You'll never know. And some guys, they'll call me on it, and there goes my night. And some guys would be like, this guy's crazy. I'm not playing this game. And there also goes my night. So, but yeah, no, it's things like that. I love kind of the simple things, playing games, playing golf, stuff like that.
You're not the first position player, because a lot of pitchers around baseball obviously go golf, and it's not really a big issue with obviously messing with anything. But you're not the first position player that's talked about this. And I want to say it was Roman Anthony that maybe when he was talking to me on here, he was like, I don't golf because it's like it would just mess me up too much. And I'm just like, well, you're doing something right in the box, so I respect it. Like, but some people it works. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of position players I know, they'll golf the opposite side of what they hit.
Okay.
Which, like, if they want to do that, that's up to them. I always tell them, like, why? Like, you're not going to – you've been playing baseball your whole life. Like, we practice so much. Like, you're not going to go play 9 holes and then all of a sudden forget how to swing a baseball bat. I don't believe that, Some guys do. I mean, obviously, I'm a switch hitter, so there is no, like, side that's better than the other. But, I think obviously for me, honestly, golf has made me closer to the pitchers, And so that's how I communicate with those guys. Because there's always like, a small little divide between the position players and pitchers, and because we're on different schedules and different stuff like that. Not that we don't get along, but we just don't see each other as much. And so golf for me is like my bridge to the position or to the pitchers. And so it's always fun. It's always fun getting out there when I can with those guys, picking their brain and just being to get out there and go hit golf balls. It's therapeutic for me. I think it's good for the mentals. And so, I enjoy it. I love it. Yes. Some days. Yes.
All right. This is going to be the most controversial question that I ask you all day. It's food question here. And it is, this has been a hot debate on this show over the last 3 years I've been doing this. Okay. So no pressure right now. Okay. So I like asking guys, like, listen, I want you to give me your Mount Rushmore, and it's going to be fast food or sit down restaurants, and they have to be a chain that's available, like, at least like some of the country, at least. I need your top 4.
We're doing sit down or fast food, or is it just chain in general?
Chain in general. Like you can sit down or you can go through a drive-through, and they can both be up there.
Man. So for me, like how I put it on chain of food is kind of like time of day, because there's a late night Mount Rushmore and there's kind of like a normal during the day, or maybe like a normal dinner kind of Mount Rushmore. But
could you give me an example of a late night one?
So late night for me, like I got Whataburger being just about like 1-1, and obviously there's the whole In-N-Out versus Whataburger controversy that's going to take place everywhere. Even though I will say this one it's really a drive-in restaurant in Ohio really surprised me. Is it Swanson's or Swenson's? I think in Ohio, it's a drive-in place. We went there one time. We were playing in Akron last year, and it was an unbelievable burger. Okay. Late night option, and so that is creepy up there. But I think number one late night for me is Whataburger. That's after everything's closed and midnight, whatever. That's kind of where I'm going. But if I'm doing just a normal everyday kind of Mount Rushmore, man, this is going to be hard because I'm going to miss some.
Tough question, man.
Man, it's tough. I mean, I think the most stable one for the last 10 years of my life has been Chick-fil-A. Okay, no matter what. No matter where I'm at, what I'm doing, and what my diet's looking like. Chick-fil-A just kind of seems to hit on all cylinders, no matter what it is.
Very consistent.
And so I it's so consistent. I have to put it up there because it's like if I can't think of what to eat, I go to Chick-fil-A.
That's fair.
After that, for sit down places, man, for me, like I love me some Benihana's. Like I just think something about people cooking in front of you. Okay. I just enjoy it. It's never a dull moment and it doesn't have to be Benihana specifically, but just those types of restaurants where they're cooking in front of you like that. I love those. I'm a big fan of those.
I mean, it's a meal and a show. Like you like
it. I like it. Man, I'm trying to think of I'm a big sushi guy and a Thai guy. Or even Chinese food. I don't know if there's any chains though for those. I would say
missing a very popular one that is one of my favorites.
I definitely am.
I mean, but some people don't consider this a good spot. But I mean, I'm a Panda Express guy, but I don't know if that's
Panda Express is good. Look, Panda Express is good. I can't put it on my Mount Rushmore because
that's fair.
It isn't a consistent enough thing for me.
That's fair.
Every time I go there, it's great though. I enjoy it. I'm never having a bad time with that. And it is really good. It's a great lunch spot whenever I make it there. I guess I don't live right next to a Panda Express, so I don't get it as often. I'm very big in like just my proximity of where I'm at especially when you're minor leagues, you're limited to what you are getting. So like there'll be 1 week where, I'll go all in on Panda Express for a week. And then the next week's like, I'm all in on Chick-fil-A. And then I also love Poke. Like I don't know if you guys have PokeWorks.
Yeah.
And I love PokeWorks. Like that is a go-to lunch spot for me. I actually had it today. And so that's a go-to lunch spot for me for sure. So I'd probably put, I think Chick-fil-A at Benihana's. I guess I could put a PokeWorks, and then for me, I have to put in one steakhouse. I mean, the most consistent steak place, cheap, easy steaks. I love me some Texas Roadhouse.
There it is. There it is.
I love me some Texas Roadhouse. Every city I go to, especially minor league baseball, if there's a Texas Roadhouse, I will be there. I'll find it.
It's a good man right here.
That's a go-to.
When I moved to Texas a few years back, when I was living down in the Dallas area, I was nervous to go to a Texas Roadhouse because I thought it was frowned upon to go to a Texas Roadhouse in the state of Texas. But it turns out that wasn't even close to the truth.
No, they're busy everywhere you go. They're busy. Whether it's in Texas, it's not like there's one in Lakeland, and when we go to that one in Lakeland, like it's popping. Like you got to actually go there and wait. At Texas Roadhouse. And you know what? I'll wait 30 minutes, 45 minutes. I'll wait for a Texas Roadhouse steak experience. The bread and butter in the beginning, whatever butter they have there, it's unbelievable. I eat too much of it. And so Texas Roadhouse definitely has to be on my Mount Rushmore because it's just every time I go there, I'm not upset.
Okay. Well, that is great. And my last question to you was also going to be a food question just because we had a good time with that one. I need an honorable mention on the #1 barbecue place in the state of Texas.
Man, honorable mention.
This should be an easy
I would say there's a lot of options. My favorite barbecue place I have been to in Texas is a place called Killen's Barbecue. And there is a chain now, but there's an original Killen's. It's in south of Houston. I believe it's in the Pearland area. It's like you go there at 10 a.m. It's line out the door. Like they keep serving food until they run out of food. And so that place, the barbecue there was unbelievable. It's incredible.
Yeah, it looks good. I cheated.
It's the best. It's the best one I've had here. I mean, Good Company Barbecue is like the chain that is solid. It's solid everywhere you go. It's like the Chipotle of barbecue.
Okay.
Like you're feeling barbecue and you don't want to pay too much food. You go to like a Good Company Barbecue. Like it's just solid. But I would say Killen's for me is my top one.
Okay. Yeah, I remember up in the Dallas area, there's still some. I mean, I know Houston probably has a little better options than Dallas. I think they're more known for the barbecue down in Houston. Better barbecue, I'll say that. But I had a couple guys from the Houston area. I shout out Grant Anderson actually with the Brewers. He's the one that told me, he's like, you got to go to Hutchins in Frisco because it's right by where the Rough Riders play. And it was the best barbecue I've ever had in my life.
Really?
Nothing will ever change it. Best of my life.
Wow. I've never been. I've never been. We didn't play against Rough Riders, so I've never been there. But if I'm in that area, I'll gladly look. I'm a foodie, so any good food recommendations, I'll gladly go try. And so I will add that to my list for sure.
All right. Well, Trey, it was a pleasure talking food with you. I feel like we could probably do a whole another one of these and just talk about food.
We probably could. We might need episode 2 at some point in the future.
Yeah. No kidding. I'm going to have to get you mid-season and be like, listen, man, where'd you eat this year? So, all right, Trey. Well, I do appreciate all the time. Obviously, I'm wishing you the best of luck going into your 2026, but thank you for doing this.
Thank you. No, absolutely. Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. Great getting to know you. And hopefully, we cross paths again this year.